What's going on, y'all? It's Scope. We're back with another video. In today's video, not even doing an intro, as you see, or just getting right to the tutorial. I'm going to show you guys how to use displacement maps in Photoshop. Let's do it. Alright, so first things first, just going to have my layer right here that I already picked out. So make sure you have an image. You already have your layer picked out. Press Ctrl J, and we're going to get our duplicate copy of the picture, right? So now at this point, you're going to go into your semicircle right here on the bottom. This is for your adjustments. You're going to click on that, and let's go to Channel Mixer. Alright, now once you're on Channel Mixer, you could use black and white if you want, but we're using Channel Mixer in this case. You go to see this little thing right here, monochrome. Click on that, monochrome. Click that right there, monochrome. Now in monochrome, you're going to use these sliders a little bit and just try to bring out some colors. Don't even really worry about this little thing right here, that logo. Don't worry about that. It's just like telling you you're doing too much of one thing, but we're not even looking at it. Alright, so that's what you're going to do in Channel Mixer. Then I'm going to add a curves adjustment on top of this, okay? So you're going to add curves adjustment, and with the curves, you're just going to play around and do the same thing you kind of already did, bringing out some of the colors. And you guys see how it makes it look more metallic. That just gives it more detail, okay? Now at this point, you have your Channel Mixer and curves on the top as adjustments. We didn't even clip it because I'm going to just show you guys a shortcut to use. It's a good shortcut to use whenever you want to just merge everything together into one new group instead of merging things down. So what we're going to do is press Control, Shift, Alt, and E together. And what that is going to do is going to give us a new layer from what's visible on my screen right in front of me. Okay, and if you're on the Mac, instead of Alt, it will be Command. So Control, Shift, Alt, and E. Alright, and we're going to get that new layer from visible. Now on this layer, we're going to make it into a smart object, and I advise that you make a shortcut for smart objects, but if you don't have that, you're going to right click and convert it to a smart object. Right click on your layer, convert it to a smart object, okay? Now from there, go to Filter, Blur, Gaussian Blur, and I usually put my Gaussian Blur only like on 1 or 2 because this just blurs out the details, so when you put the displacement map over, it's going to be a little bit smoother. But don't put it up too high, or it's just going to look weird when you try to do displacement. One thing I want you guys to note is that sometimes you don't even need to make it black and white and then use Gaussian blur as well. Sometimes you can just actually use the normal image without any blur or making it black and white. But I'm just trying to show you guys all the options possible, just in case you run into a couple of difficulties. But with that being said, let's continue on to the video. So go to like around 1, wherever you see fit, okay? And from here, now all you have to do is save it as a displacement map, right? So go to File, Save As, save it on your computer, and I'm just going to save it in my base photos because I just know where it is. And I'm just going to title it Paul George Displacement, alright? And what you want to save it as is a Photoshop PSD, okay? It's like saving a PSD regularly, but you're just saving it as a displacement map technically. So save it as a PSD and hit save. Alright, so the next thing that we have to tackle is I'm just gonna group all of this together in a group, and I'm just gonna say displace or whatever. I spelled that wrong, but all you have to do now is just get rid of the text on here. We're just gonna do a text example, okay, and a logo example. So I'm just gonna get rid of this with the text and just do some masking and stuff, but I'm not gonna do all that on the video because I just want to show you guys what I'm doing. If you guys are confused about how to get text off, just look at some of my jersey swap tutorials, okay, and that will teach you. But I'll be right back when I have everything. Alright guys, so at this point I have the layer that I want to use for the displacement map, okay? So I made it, whatever, sold out, alright, the little punny type of thing, even though Paul George is one of my favorite players, whatever, that doesn't matter. But we're on our layer right here, and make sure when you have it, right click and make it into a smart object. That's going to be so if we use our displacement map and want to change it, we can do so, okay? So I'm going to go to Filter now, then I'm going to go to Distort, and then go to Displace. Filter, Distort, Displace, alright? Horizontal and vertical scale, you usually want to keep that the same quantity, whatever it may be. Displacement maps, I have it on stretch to fit. And undefined areas, repeat edge pixels. Alright, so we're good. And have this clicked. Now, we're going to press OK. And wherever you saved your PSD, that's where you're going to load it in. So I'm clicking on my Paul George displacement map. Alright, and now we see this loaded in. Okay, so this is the before, that's the after, alright? It wasn't a huge difference, but it's definitely a difference between it just floating there and it having some substance, right? So that's pretty much how you're going to do your displacement map. If you wanted to change it, you would just click right back onto the displace, and then you could change your parameters around if you wanted to go to like 8 by 8 or something like that, or just do it more extreme. You can definitely dive into doing that. I'm just going to keep it at 5 by 5 because it's kind of just a subtle thing. It's not anything crazy. But I want to show you guys one more thing that's going to really help you once you get your displacement map on there, okay? So you guys see how this is kind of just text and it's not really a color that goes along with the jersey, because the way I made the layer just was a layer, right? So that was confusing. The way I made the layer, it was just like a regular text, and then I just put it on there. It wasn't like cohesive with the jersey, okay? So what you can do for this is, now I'm going to control click on the displacement map that I have, not the displacement map, but the layer of the displacement map where we did it on. So I'm going to control click on that, and you see that's lighting up right there. Now I'm going to go down to this would be the jersey layer, the blank jersey layer, okay? Now, but we have this selection on it because we control clicked. And now you're going to press Control J, all right? Press Control J, and that's going to make your own, well, you can not really see, let's see. That's going to make your own little thing right here of just the jersey. So it's going to have some texture. See how it has all the texture? So now you would say, well, that's cool, but how am I going to get the texture on there? Because that's kind of weird. So what you're going to do, go onto this, all right? And this is already white. Say if it wasn't white, you would just go and do what we did in the beginning, channel mixer. So add your channel mixer, create a clipping mask, go to monochrome, and you would just go to monochrome, and it would be black and white, and then you're going to merge it together into a smart object. All right, so once you merge it into a smart object, now you can see this stuff right here, the layer. This layer is still there, don't worry. But now what we can do is we can go to the semicircle, okay? Then we can go to solid color, all right? Now with your solid color, make another clipping mask, right click, create clipping mask. Now that's clipped on. Now you're saying, okay, it's the same thing, there's no detail again. No, we're gonna go down to the normal. Instead of a normal layer, we're gonna change it to a linear light layer, okay? And with this linear light layer, what we can do is get it pretty much to that red that we want, okay? So now we have that red that we want. Go back onto this, and what you would do from here is add a layer mask, okay? So I'm gonna add a layer mask, click on that rectangle, and then I'm gonna invert the layer mask, invert it, and then from there what you would have to do is just bring back the black. All right, I'm doing this really fast just to show you guys, but you would just bring back the black of this. And I don't even know, I actually look kind of sick without it going fully, but I should probably finish it out full. But that is essentially, guys, how you're going to use displacement maps on Photoshop. A very quick tutorial, and I probably will do like a second video of this. If you guys have any questions or you're still confused after this, just let me know down below, of course. But that's how you're going to use displacement maps. Really easy, really simple, and really fun once you start to just really use them effectively on Photoshop. So I appreciate you guys coming out to the video today. If this helped you, make sure you let me know down below in the comment section, and drop a like, and let me know what other videos you want to see. It's been Council Scoped. Everybody stay scoped, man. I'm out.